Hello and welcome once more to another Learn Sanskrit video, and this time we're going to do the exercises for lesson 7, and this is actually the second exercise video for lesson 7, and there will be one more. First I want to talk about my new PDF documents here that I'm now posting with a link in the description. I have two PDFs for this exercise, and the first PDF is the exercises themselves, so you can try to solve the exercises before you watch the video. And also I have providing the answers to all of the exercises, and as you can see here, as I usually do, I echo the assignment itself also, so you have everything on the same sheet here when you are reading the answers. What I'm doing now here also on the answers answers documents is that I'm providing alternative translations down here, and that means that because I'm quite particular in what I'm expecting from the student, and the whole idea here with the solution here, the English line here, is that this English line has to be retranslatable back into Sanskrit. So this is not the actually finished English line. This is just the English line for the Sanskrit studio exercises here. Then of course you can always polish it up to be more poetic or more good sounding in English, but the goal here is just to provide some basic English translation that is both cogent or understandable, and is also retranslatable back into Sanskrit. So here, down here, then at the end of the sheet, I'm commenting on the differences between these alternatives and what I consider to be good and what I consider to be formally acceptable, and like that. So you can read down here how I am sort of trying to guide you into adopting the best standard for this course. Alright, and then I'm changing. Previously on the previous lessons I had 6 answers on one page, but now I only have 3 because I wanted to have space for all this commentary here. So on the second page then of the same PDF you can read 4 to 6 there, the same system here. Alright, so that's enough about those, and let's dig in. And if you don't want to download the PDFs, you can just hand copy the screens I'm having here, and I will be as usual here, I'm holding these for 5 seconds each, the 2 screens here, so you can stop the video 2 times and take down these sentences. Alright, 5 seconds for B1, the number 1 here. And now 5 seconds for the second screen here. And now let's start doing these. Okay, so we're coming from Devanagari here, and so our first job is transliteration, and we do eswo. Good job. Bala. So these are all singular nominative. and then we have wa, the conjunction wa, and we have agachati here. Oops. Although, well, it's actually in third person singular. Agachati. Alright, so our eswo then was English with the Sanskrit word order here. Okay, so the horse, ashvaha, gajaha, the elephant, balaha, the boy, wa, or, agachati, he comes. And so on the eswo line here, when we have the conjunction here, or yeah, when we have the conjunction here, we always specify not only the translation of it into or, from wa to or, but we also specify which role it has. And here, of course, it is a conjunction that binds ashvaha and gajaha and balaha together. So it's, what is that then? It's a word connector, because it binds the words. It's not a clause connector, and it's not a sentence connector. It is a word connector, and in this particular case the word type is nouns, right? So it's a noun connector. Alright, so the syntax is that it's only one va or wa, so that's syntax A. So or A. And now we do our English line here. So the horse, let's see if I choose the right one now, because there's so many alternatives. Let's see, I think I did like this: the elephant, the horse, the elephant, or the boy comes. And so whenever we are using or, we are never adding up the numbers of the terms that are sort of grouped together here. So it's not 1 plus 1 plus 1 as it would be if you were using and, but it's just 1. So either of these terms. So if it is the fact that the elephant, for instance, is the one, then he comes, right? Or the horse, and then that the horse comes. Or it could be the boy comes. But in either case, we always end up with a singular ending here. Okay, so that's, and as you can see in the PDF of the answers, there are, I think there were 5 or at least three. I mean, there are many alternatives you can write here, but so one alternative, I'll just spell it out here, it would be to put A here also, but that's superfluous, because if we only have one or in the English line, then we are implying that the Sanskrit also should have just one or. And A stands for just one or in this case. So it's we don't really have to do that. It's cleaner if we leave these indexes out as much as possible on the English line. Here on the eswo line they should always appear, but on the English line we want to keep it as tidy as possible. Alright, so that's number one. Let's do the transliteration here for atra saha tish ta ti tatra cha sa dhavati. That, oops. So atra, adverb here, saha, he, pronoun, tishtati, verb, someone is standing, he is standing, he stands. Tatra, adverb there, cha, and, so it's conjunction, sa, pronoun, she, dhavati. So someone is running, and who's running? She runs. That, and what is the syntax here? It's a clause connector, and we'll look at that when we come to the English line, how that looks. English line here. So here he stands, and there she runs. So it is a clause connector because this is clause 1 and this is clause 2. And once again here, when we have a clause, also there's no discrepancy here in terms of we as a student we have to read this English line. We have to understand that this is a clause. Here he stands, that is a clause. That could have been a standalone sentence, but it isn't in this case, but that's a clause. So and is connecting two clauses, and therefore it automatically is a C. So there's a, I mean, you could write a C here. It wouldn't be completely wrong, but it's just more clumsy. It's more elegant just to skip it. But in any case, whether you do that or not, it's always it still is retranslatable back into Devanagari. And that is the main qualification, that this English line has to be done in a proper way so that we can retranslate it. Alright, so number 3, let's go back to black ink here, and we have an eswo here, and we have a balaha here, and we have wa, and we have tish, t, t, at the end of sentence, and then we have aham, gachami, like that. So ashvaha is nominative singular, it's a horse, so the horse, and the boy, balaha, the boy, or, and then we have someone is standing. Okay, and then we also have I go. There's a gachati here, although it's first person singular. I go, like that, and then so the horse, or the boy, stands. And once more, then we have or, and that means that the subjects should be the ending here on the verb should correspond to one of the terms. Stands. Okay, and we've done this in many cases here, that that when we do the final translation, since we have an explicit noun here for the boy, we don't need the implicit subject in the verb here. So therefore, when we translate to the English line, we use the verb part only there, and then we specify the horse or the boy. And something I've forgotten now here is that I haven't specified which or this is, but the question is what are the terms? Well, the terms are what we are working with. That is this and this. So this is word 1 and word 2. So therefore, and we all have one or, so that's in the Sanskrit and in the English. So it's syntax A, because syntax A indicates that if we were to retranslate, we would only have one wa in the Sanskrit up here, like that, so that fits. But of course, on the English line here, this is not necessary, because if we have one single or in the English, we imply that this is the A syntax. But you could, once again, you could have a here also down, like we talked about as in number one up here. We could have had an a there just as well as here. But as I said, it's more elegant just to skip it on the English line. So that's like that. Okay, good. So now we're done with. Okay, maybe I should just finish off the and I go here, because our explicit pronoun here goes there, and the verb goes there. That's all right. So let's go to screen. I should say screen instead. Okay, screen 2 here with the translations 4, 5, 6 here. Okay, we're doing the transliteration here now first. Kadasi, cha, pibasi, cha, pritchati. Oh, whoops. Pritchati, cha. And there, okay, so someone is kadati here. So you are eating. You eat. And pibasi, you drink. And pritchasi, you ask. And okay, that's our eswo. And now the question is, what work does and do? Well, it is a word connector. So after each term, and the terms are here, number 1 and number 2 and number 3. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was right. 3. So after each term there is an and. So this is the typical B syntax. So we should write B here. This is a B, and we do that on all of them. B, B, B. Like that. And now we do our English line. You eat. And now, okay, before I do that, I have to do like that, because we see here we only have implicit subjects. So we have to do the bracketing here, because we don't have any explicit pronoun. So we signal that with our parentheses here. So you eat, and you drink, and you ask. So that's, I think, that's most straightforward English translation there of the eswo. And since we are now supplying multiple ands, it is by default, if we were to retranslate this back again, we understand here that we want the B syntax in the Sanskrit as well. So this is another way of writing this sentence, which also would be okay, would be to do like that only once, and then you could say you eat and drink and ask. Or you can put some B's here also, but that's also superfluous, so that's not needed. On the English line is not needed, so because this is, if you supply two ands, that will translate to three cha in the Sanskrit. Okay, so I think that's, and of course there are, I think I have 5 alternatives altogether in the PDF, so if you're interested in which are okay and which are not okay, then you can look there. Okay, number 5. We have sa vadati, aham va pritchami. Okay, so sa, so she, pronoun feminine, grammatical gender she, she's vadati, shows she's speaking, she speaks. Aham, pronoun for I, va, conjunction or, pritchami, so someone is asking, and who is that? It's Ami, it's me. I ask, like that. And here, how does it work? Well, it's a clause connector, and we'll see the clauses here in the English, on the English line. She speaks, or I ask. And the clauses then are clause 1 and clause 2. And since the default value here for one or is in a clause environment here, it's syntax C, so I don't have to write it out on the English line, only on the eswo line. Okay, so she speaks or I ask. Let's take number 6. Atra, taha, tish, ta, tishtanti, tatra, ch, te, sidanti. Okay, so atra here, adverb, ta, oh whoops, must be a long ah here, taha, you made a mistake myself here, taha. Okay, so it's a feminine pronoun in the plural here, so they all F, feminine. And what they're doing, they're standing, so they all stand. They'll stand. And then we have tatra, adverb, there. We have cha, conjunction, and. We have te, pronoun, for. This could be different things here. It could be dual or plural. And it could be other things as well. So, but we have to look at the verb here, sidanti. So it is plural, and therefore it is masculine. So they all They all what they're doing. They all sit. They are sitting, all of them. Okay, so now we just do a eswo up there. Here, okay, so then let's see what this is the clause connector again there, so it should be a C here, they all, and on the English line I write the F like that to make it more readable. They all stand, and there they all sit. Right, and then so that we have to, well, we don't have to, but we can do it just to demonstrate that this is really a clause, two clauses, which has an and in between, and therefore we use syntax C when we are retranslating back into Sanskrit. Okay, so I think that wraps it up here for this lesson. And as I said in the beginning, please do check out the new PDFs that are you have a link in the description, because they have more details in terms of the possibilities of the answers. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and I wish you a very pleasant day, and hope to see you again. Bye bye.